Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Kiev Major Open Qualifiers. Hope you guys have been enjoying the broadcast so far. We're going to be hopping into the next game. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I forgot to turn on my microphone. It's fine. Everything is fine. I'm sure that it's all good and well. This might actually be my last game that I'm casting for tonight, believe it or not. I think that it might be because of the way that the Chinese qualifiers are set up. It means that we only get a certain amount of them per hour as everything goes on there. So, yeah, we're going to be hanging out for a little bit. After I am out of there, it's going to be Zyclops that steps in as we see a kill on the Lone Druid down here in the bottom lane. Oh, me, oh my. That is not the way that you want to see this happen. And all in all, this is something that we saw in last game, too. 2-9 into the favor of PGC, but you still have Max, who's kind of leading the way in terms of net worth and in terms of, like, farmed heroes. You've got the Lone Druid and, you know, all of these heroes that are incredibly farmed up, and now they're coming back to try and defend the tower as well. See if Chalice can do this. Might have thought about the duel there, but probably would have been a bit of a problem. So, nonetheless, yeah, it is going to be, oh my god. All right, it's probably a good thing that Cyclops is going to be taken over. This has been a long couple of days so far. But yeah, 2 to 10 so far. And the big thing that I would say about these two teams is that they're incredibly evenly matched. In the first game, it felt like it was very back and forth. We didn't get to see what happened in game number 2, but I do expect to see Max come away with the win. You know, and it looks bad saying that going into 2 and 10, but I think with the Lone Druid taken, I think with the Legion Commander as well, one of the heroes that hasn't really tended to reach the NA region as much, but I feel like it's incredibly strong. And Storm could run into some issues a little bit later on, you know, if we end up seeing an Atos picked up or something else like that. And they're actually going to go back in on this, trying to find a duel, but Chalice is going to be caught in the kinetic or static storm, and it's going to end up falling. So they take a kill in spite of the initiation that was coming out. A little bit of a bait coming. They end up taking it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I also wanted to mention that this is going to be my last day doing the open qualifiers, just in case this does happen to be the last game that I'm doing. I'm going to be switching over and getting ready for the regionals, so Southeast Asia is going to be there. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I hope that you guys enjoy these open qualifier coverages. Myself, it was Breaky as well earlier. I had a collection of people joining us as well throughout the times. Hades did some coverage last night, and then Cyclops the couple of nights before that as well. As the Cogs are going to pressure out, and, well, it looks like they will get the deny on the tower before the TA can finish it off. So yeah, it's been a hell of a lot of fun. It's always a little bit more casual than we end up getting on the regional qualifiers because you have games where it's just a complete and total stomp. But, you know, there's going to be good coverage throughout this event. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy what's coming. Y Chen moving in towards mid. Going to be able to try and pressure and take down this tower. This would be the second one in, well, just a couple of minutes, and it looks like the Savage Roar will stop MG from moving any further forward. Bottom lane. They've taken the tier 1 tower, but that is the only tower that they've taken so far in this game. And yes, Cyclops should be casting on this same channel as well. There's going to be a little bit of a break, like maybe a minute, 2 minutes or something, and then we're going to be switching over to him because he needs to pick up the stream on his side. But the big smoke play now. They don't have the Storm Spirit with them through this, which might be a bit of a problem, although he does have a regen rune, so he can quickly get there. Oh, would be really good if they could catch Y Chen at the start of this. The smoke breaks. They throw out a... Now the flare just a little bit late now, and they won't be able to quite see him. They could still go in onto the Rubik, but there's a lot of heroes ready should that happen. And now Storm Spirit regen rune no longer on him. They can still go for the clockwork hook shot if they wanted to. They jump forward, able to find one. They end up catching on to 2 actually, but the Static Storm is there as well. This might be enough. They've already lost the Disruptor though, and now Chalice turned upon as well. He's armlet toggling to the best of his abilities, trying to bring them down, and it looks like it might end up happening. Magnetize though is connected onto 3. Can they find any more? It looks like the answer is going to be no. So they end up losing the Undying and the Rubik on the side of Max. But PGC, they only end up losing the disruptor. Both sides going to head back and away. Do not want to take that fight in a bad way.
Invisibility.
So 3-13. Still very much kill-wise into the favor of PGC. But Max is leading in terms of experience, and this just goes to show the outplays that happen in the laning stage. As Y Chen ends up finding the kill there onto the disruptor. Very rapidly just evaporating out of this one, and well, Chalice, they wanted the duel. I think both sides were a little bit surprised to find the other there. Legion Commander without the Blink Dagger, of course, not as great as the Initiation, but does ensure that you're not going to just feed away damage all over the place.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Top lane, Juggernaut. Going to be facing off against the TA yet again. And he's probably just going to back out to the jungle. Storm Spirit is pretty close at this point to his Bloodstone. Didn't go for the Arcane Boots to allow him to just disassemble and go straight for it. Just had to stop off at the treads, which I do like. You can see right now the movement, waiting for this disruptor to just get a little bit too close. And then you wrap in for the kill. We'll see if they can get there in time. Our Spirit is coming over as well, so it might not be the easiest gank in the world. There's the movement, looking for it, and yep, they got him. Kinetic Field was all they were able to get down there, and that's going to be some dual damage. And Cookie Bear also realizing that this could be a problem. Hook shot off the mark. It wouldn't have hit even if he did have the range. So the kill's starting to swing back into their favor, and now, there's been games where I've seen Legion Commanders at like 35 minutes with only 10 dual damage. The fact that he's been able to find 2 dual wins without a Blink Dagger is pretty impressive. Particularly against this lineup, who have such great counter initiation. And the big, I was going to say elephant in the room, but it's more bear in the room, is the Lone Druid. This hero does not get through drafts that often for a reason. It's incredibly hard to deal with. Here comes the pressure in towards the mid lane. Does not look like anybody from the side of Max wants to come back to contest this, at least for now. They're going to be content to just hold the line. Deso picked up now for TA. So Blink Deso at this early point in time. If they can manage to hold MG in place at all, he is just going to evaporate. This next fight clearly going to be the big decider. They go in, check that Roshan is not being done, and just going to head across the map to try and farm it out. But with the Deso now there for TA, it is a moment where they could think about trying to sneak it. Might just be a bit too hard to do. If they find a pick-off with Legion Commander, that's sort of going to be the avenue for them to go into Roche. So you probably are going to even need to think about like holding on to an early game buyback for a lot of the side of PGC here. Because if somebody gets picked off at the start of the fight, or at the before a fight even happens, and then you don't have buyback, you give up Roche, and that just allows this Max team to snowball from there. And that's why they're all grouped together so closely. You just can't allow a pick-off. A Ghost Scepter this early for Disruptor. That is awesome.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So, smoke is ready. Lone Druid is going to TP to the tier 2. They end up getting the glyph off at the last second. Can they get here in time, though? It looks like they might have to wrap around. The newly minted Blink Dagger is there as well for the Legion Commander. We'll see. Oh, they're going for a smoke into Roche. This is very, very scary. I don't know about this one. If they even decide to check for a moment, like they have Rocket Flare, you've got to shoot one Rocket Flare here. Are they really going to get away with this? Oh, come on now. PGC, they spot it out. It's really low, but they can get there in time Chalice also going to be stunned for the moment. They're going to rolling boulder in. I don't like this play in the least bit. They hook shot as well. A ton of damage coming out. PGC, they're going to run all over him. Chalice is gone. And now the Bloodstone charges are really going to start to flow. Max cannot walk back into this, but they also can't give up Roche right now. If Storm Spirit gets Roshan, well, Tombstone still alive. The Tombstone? Is it really going to be able to do this much? Omni Slash down as well. They want to be able to kill it off. Already they've lost the Disruptor, but, well, it looks like Chen really need to walk back into that one. MG is going to fall. They get that kill as well. Aegis still on the ground. Why Chen picks it up? How did they lose that? Oh, God. Oh, man, that was not what needed to happen. It could have looked so different, and now he just wants to get something. MG using up his whole mana pool here, but might end up dying for this very deep dive. Can they end up killing off? He doesn't have mana to get away. Oh, MG, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Oh, one more. He's able to dodge away from it. Just barely, and now Zhao Fu goes back in. They end up getting a Savage Roar, and they have almost Wai Chen gone. He dove too deep. That's the Aegis gone, but can they take another? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Storm Spirit trying to run. He will be able to escape. Oh, God. So 10-16, a kerfuffle and a half.
Is under attack.
And we can see the graph just switching back around. I think that at the end of the day, it ends up breaking out kind of even. Storm Spirit was the beneficiary in some ways, but he did lose out on all those Bloodstone charges that he was building up, and now he's down to 11, which like isn't terrible by any means, but yeah, I think that Max will be somewhat happy with that play. Oh, my heart be still. And this is the timing when, you know, denying that Aegis to either A, the Storm, or B, the TA. It's not such a, like, normally when you see these types of engagements, it's like a definite win for one team or the other. And they tend to be able to snowball off the back of it. Because that didn't happen, and the kills were kind of thrown around haphazardly, now you're in a situation where there's sort of another opening for when that next Roche fight happens. Looks like Undyne is going to be going back for the mechanism. He almost has it completed. Decided to go for that before Arcanes. I guess because Rubik had him, he didn't feel the need for it, and his team really wants to try and get aggressive here. 34 dual damage for Legion at this point is pretty great. Oh, hook. Okay. He found the Undyne, able to drop the Tombstone. He ends up using the Soul Rip, but, well, yeah, that's just some free gold for them. Maybe thinking that there was a chance they could fight, but not wanting to fully go for it. Legion Commander, not quite envisioned to see this Disruptor. This should be a kill onto Chalice if, yeah, the Storm Spirit's going to be brought in. This is a problem. And probably going to die now. Can try and go for armor toggles, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, as soon as the Disruptor comes in there, you got to be... There's just no way out. That's why China values this hero so much. Because they, like, 5-man all the time, and then you go for some type of a split push play. So, 10-17, still very much in contention as to who's coming out ahead. Like, Max is ahead in terms of the experience, but you can tell that it's not... Like, if the Storm Spirit gets out of control, PGC can certainly win. Multiple Ghost Scepters online as well for these guys. You got a Blade Mail for the Clockwork as well. And that's one thing that Templar Assassin can run into difficulties with is, you know, if there is a Blade Mail there, just kind of destroying herself. Also do have the Manta for the Jug and the Diffusal Blade. But yeah, they need the Storm to get onto Fonte every time. And if that doesn't happen, things are going to look rough. Oh, Chalice.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, might be dead again. There's the long range zip. Orchid down as well. Didn't actually deal any damage with his roll in. And now Chalice, he ends up walking through a remnant. That's unlucky. Will end up going down here, but they might be able to make something of it nonetheless because Stormspirit doesn't have a ton of mana. They're looking for that initiation. Cookie Bear is there, already gone. Static Storm down. MG out of mana. In some trouble now, trying to escape. The cogs are so well placed, though. That was absolutely perfect. And now, well, Rubik has Ball Lightning. Oh, look out, guys. No, he gets Orchided. But they still are going to be able to run down the Storm, possibly. They have another initiation that can come out in a second if he wants to go for it. Ball Lightning is there, but he doesn't have enough mana to get the lift off. God, all right. Clockwork made the plays in this fight. The fact that they didn't end up getting that heavily punished, even though Stormspirit was completely out of mana, and maybe now they could go back in for another round. Like, all of Max is here. And Clockwork is chasing. He has another hook shot. He's found himself another kill. Wai-Chen trying to escape, but again, the Meld Strike. They got the Sentry Ward. Wai-Chen in trouble, and nobody there to save him. This is the type of snowballing that PGC needs. 14 Bloodstone charges, and Storm just all over him. Courier?
Dire's courier.
What have you done? What have you done? Oh, this is Force Staff. Oh, my goodness. Well, you can't have everything go your way, I guess. Yeah, Clockwork took 3 of those CS. He's like, you get my courier killed. Taking at least a few CS from you.
Radiant's
All right.
tower is under attack.
So, Tier 2 tower going to go down the bottom lane. Can still see how close it is. But the team fights are going to start to be won now by PGC over and over. That shrine ended up making all the difference in the world. If they don't have this shrine right here ready to use, I don't think that they can go back in for that next kill on the TA. God, MG is not afraid to use his mana. He just like blew half his load in that mid lane just to push out the creep wave. And Butterfly going to be next for Juggernaut, still a long ways away from it. And if you are Max right now, you're feeling the need to get something done. Oh, this would be huge. Jump forward, duel there onto MG. Great combination, and they find that kill. So needed. And we find another one of there as I think that they're going to be able to break down and kill off Cookie Bear. It's a magnetize onto 5, but purge off by Chalice. And, well, just when you think that the team is really starting to shift to the other side, you end up getting a pick off on the Storm Spirit like that, and suddenly they're back to about even.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is pretty silly. So MG, it looks like he has not decided yet what he wants to go for. Maybe it's the Lincoln Sphere. Maybe he instead wants to go over for a Hex. I think Lincoln's is probably the play, just to ensure he doesn't get taken down. They do have vision right now and see the DD on Storm Spirit. I don't believe that they spotted Juggernaut yet, but Wai-Chen is there in the middle. Looks like they're just going to blink out. Disruptor looking for the opening. All right, one of these heroes is going to die. Unless Max takes a team fight, I think that they can take one. Are they really not going to go on that? All right. Like when they move this far out, they also spot out that it's somebody has a Shadow Blade or a Shadow Amulet. I can't believe they're not going to go on that. Okay.
Here I am.
And I believe that might have been a smoke under ward. And now up on the high ground, Disruptor is the one that's there to lay down a static storm if he wants to. But they're moving into Roche. Still, it's a long Roche respawn timer. And they're going to stop it. They don't want to end up going too far. Again, very tense moment for these two teams. If you're PGC or if you're Max, the chance to face off against eHome Keen in the qualifiers and then potentially take a spot at the regionals, it opens up the world of the rest of the Chinese Dota scene for you. Because neither of these teams are going to end up getting invited to almost any other regional events unless they get that opportunity. And that's when you end up getting picked up by a big organization. Storm Spirit almost gets caught out there. Like what we see a lot of times is, you know, for instance, right now, what's an example of it? eHome Luminous. They didn't perform well at this last qualifiers. If PGC or Max ends up getting a really good performance at the regionals, maybe eHome picks them up and puts them on their new team. That would be actually kind of funny if eHome Keen ended up getting knocked out by one of these two, and then eHome picks them up. It's the ultimate. So, obviously meaning a lot for each of these teams. And, Zhao Fu? Not going to be able to find Wai Chen. He's gone. Yeah, a second earlier, you go for that, and you end up finding him. And now, they realize what's going on. Roche is up. Yeah, this is their opportunity. You can see the TPs are going to start to come over, though. Clockwork is there. He drops it down. Is going to be able to find the pushback with the Cogs onto the Rubik. This Roshan is not going down quickly. Storm Spirit coming in from far away as well. Cookie Bear has Magnetize. Another flare, spotting it out. They pop the, oh, good Savage Roar. Now they're controlling on his Zhao Chen, but that's already going to be one down. So that's Disruptor out of there. Aegis picked up there by MG. A ton of damage out, though. Look at the damage coming out from the Magnetize, from everything. Oh, wow, the Omni Slash, not nearly enough. They are going to be able to get out with the Storm Spirit, but holy hell. That was awful. First it was the overwhelming odds. Then it was the decay stacks. And then afterwards, a Fade Bolt. And you look at the damage that the Legion did in that fight, 3,300 over the course of it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's rough. And this is where it really starts to take off for them. They've been hovering in the lead in experience, now looking to finish off possibly the end of this. That is a risky play, MG. Chalice could be all over you. 62 stolen duel damage, and they're going to back. They don't want to try and test their luck. Very disciplined play.
Double damage.
They're waiting for some movement out. Oh no. PGC, they're gonna play this safer. I mean, it's still dangerous as hell walking uphill like that. If instead Max had gone for like a wraparound play right here, that could have easily been just a devastating kill. Do they have vision of that Legion? They did spot her just for a second. Yeah, and they're going to have to back out now. All right, so no Aegis. No nothing. And it looks like they're going to be content with the lead that they're making. I still think it's scary playing against the Storm Spirit like this because there's a good chance that he just doesn't end up dying again for a really long time because of that Lincolns that he has now. Like, that last fight was just so chaotic. God, overwhelming odds is also just a ridiculous amount of damage. You look at it, so you get the 100 base, but now it's also 120 per hero. So I think it hit onto 4 heroes in that, so it's at 600 or 580 damage. It's crazy how big that nuke is. Part of the reason why people don't end up giving it away that often anymore in some of the other regions. I'm still waiting for it to become like really popular in NA. I haven't seen a ton of it. So Looks like Scotty is going to be the next pick after the butterfly for the Juggernaut. But he, in that last fight, did not really feel like that big of a problem.
I'm getting a second wind.
A regen rune on Storm. Always good to have. I'm very happy that they changed the interaction of this as well, where regen runes now work like salves, so he can just take damage from creeps throughout and still use it consistently. It's so frustrating a couple of games where that wasn't the case. Cookie Bear? Rolling away? Ooh. Yeah, Chalice almost caught him there. But this is what Storm will do to you. Pull you across the map, kill off your creep waves. You won't be able to catch up to him on time, and with the Lincoln Sphere, he's pretty hard to really pin down.
Radiant's top tower is under
So, Treasure, why? Okay. He just kills him. Fine. But now they're TPing in for this one. And HY drops the Tombstone. That's the Ghost Scepter away as well. And it looks like they won't be able to actually run any of them down. Yes, they kill off the Clockwork, but they can't find anything else off the back of it. And the Tier 2 tower about down to half HP. MG himself wants to finish off that Shiva's Guard with a quickness. And in my eyes, I'm still seeing Max with a definite lead. It's coming off the back of them invading the jungle and getting just more farm across the map. But it feels like PGC has kind of been able to outplay them in the macro sense throughout a lot of the fights. That last one being the big difference maker.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And still a long ways before Roshan is up. Maybe it starts with like, I guess that Rubik could do it. He like fade bolts into the immediate lift and then you go for the duel. That's probably the best way to play it, I think. But Wai-Chen ever closer to his Bloodthorn. We've got the Blink Dagger coming up for the Earth Spirit. Anything else really of note? Lone Druid is going back for an MKB to deal with the Juggernaut, which he's almost at. It's not like that far away. And feeling like even though he is sort of the bottom of the table, the Undying has been able to get a lot out of this one so far for himself as well. Mechanism and the Glimmer Cape. We'll run into some mana issues most likely, but that's what the Arcanes is there to help solve. And the big smoke movement now. Disruptor leading the way. Ping's coming out. It seems like Undying knows what's up. They're already on top of him. They could get the D ward on this one if they wanted, and it looks like they are going to do that. So yeah, everybody heads out. Max still comfortable taking this into the later stages. Do they have a gem? I've been really liking these lane wards that have come out. I feel like it's super value, just like any little bit of information that you get around the map. Because the other thing about it is that if you did happen to cut down these trees, you also have vision of people heading like the safe way over to these creep camps.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And now the movement up towards high ground. Looks like it's all come down to this. They have cogs to try and push them away. Always frustrating to deal with. They could go for the second round here if they wanted to push again. But it looks like they are just content to back out, see that there was a rotation, farm out their jungle again, and wait for that next Roche fight. Because you have the MKB, which is almost done there as well for the Lone Druid. Like, Chalice can hang out here and see if anybody comes to push out the creep wave and then find a quick kill. But then you don't have to have the rest of the team there as well hanging out with you. And it looks like, in fact, they're just going to send in the Juggernaut Illusions. So, yeah, it's decent, because he can push this out with just one overwhelming odds, and Then they're sort of in an awkward spot to jump in. Y-Chen is gone upon. He pops his BKB, forced to fight. They turn to go, not able to get the duel quite off though, and now the Omni Slash gonna be there onto that TA, trying to bring down the Juggernaut. Can they chase him down in time? Melt Strike, oh, 4-step up to the high ground, but they get the Static Storm. Still trying to get out of here. They have a glimpse available. Pulling Chalice back in. The jump forward, not able to quite get him though. Almost able to bring down that Disruptor. And the end result is the Rubik for the Clockwork. Oh man, that's frustrating. If you find that duel on the Storm Spirit, you just basically win the fight. And are they really going back in for this? Okay, they're onto the TA. He doesn't have any great answer. Gets the Glimmer Cape, gets the Purge off, turns to fight. MG, you're out of mana. What are you doing here, mister? Is in some trouble. Lone Druid trying to take him down. Ghost Scepters, hopefully able to keep him alive as well, but MG is eventually going to fall. The TA died as well. He gets to the Shrine. Fonte trying to turn to fight now, and there's Chalice going to try and see if he can find the kill as well. Gets glimpsed again. Constantly pushed out of this fight. The Disruptor is making sure that there is going to be no kill coming out with the duel. And Chalice needs to be careful here. So 20-21, Storm Spirit for the TA again. I mean, the thing about it that's nuts to me is that MG keeps on going into these fights, and it looks so god-awful. Like, he loses all of his mana, but he's trusting in his team to help keep him alive. All right, jump in, gets the duel. I don't know if that's who you want to duel, though. Can he bring him down? They do end up finding it. The glimpse comes a bit too late, so that's going to be a dead Juggernaut. He buys back into this game now, and Cookie Bear maybe going to get ran down. He has the zombies after him, and oh my god, Fonte does a lot of damage. Zombies still there on top of Roche. They buy back on the Earth Spirit now as well. Max needs to be careful. And they don't actually have enough mana here. Mana Boots, Guardian Greaves still a little ways off for them. I guess that Rubik also has his in 20 seconds. They need to make sure that they can get it for the Legion Commander. He's actually running all the way over to the Shrine because he can't wait long enough. If they spot that the Legion Commander isn't here, they could go in for this, but Legion now comes, and they're going to move in for it. They realize that Legion isn't there yet. They get the pull back in onto Y-Chen. BKB's already been popped. Omni Slash out as well. That is going to be Rubik able to walk away for the moment. MG getting good spacing, but is he going to be able to outmaneuver Chalice? It looks like it's going to happen, but they've already taken down that Juggernaut. That's a dieback for him. TA chasing. MG is going to be forced back and away. They don't have a duel again, but they've already won it against the Juggernaut. And Disruptor looks like he's going to get away on the skin of his teeth. But this is feeling very dominant now for Max. And with Roshan starting to fall 41 minutes into this, I think that Max could have turned the corner here. They ate the cheese for the Lone Druid. They gave the Aegis away to the TA, who's still a little ways away from the Bloodthorn. But this is pretty huge now. 98 dual damage. But more importantly, 48 seconds with no Juggernaut, and they know that this is the case. God, look at this Lone Druid go. This is why you ban out the hero, everybody. He is absurd. And all of this time, biding their time, getting good team fights, making the right plays over and over again, almost gets the duel. Instead is going to get it on the Disruptor, but the Ghost Scepter just in time means they will not get the duel victory, but they do manage to find the kill nonetheless. And they go for it, pump faking the hook shot, not willing to go in. Bloodthorn picked up for the Storm Spirit. And yeah, they're going to take down the Shrines. Could even think about going for more here, but with Juggernaut coming up, there's no great need. There's no hurry. They are in a dominant position. 20,000 net worth and experience lead for them. And that next tier of items coming up as well. Blink Dagger done for the Rubik. It's pretty nifty. By the way, he's still Omni Slash. Always love to see that. So the Blink lift into Omni. Why don't you go solo the Clockwork? I'd love to see it. And trying to think about how it is that PGC gets back into this. it's tough because you also have the answers already built in for like the butterfly. There's a 6,000 gold item that's basically doing nothing now except for giving him some amount of damage, which he maybe could have gotten from another source. And it's so tough. Granted, it's not always going to be the lone druid that's the one that's hitting the juggernaut, but when you have so much range on your hero, you look at what it's like, it's going to be hard for him not to be hitting that juggernaut. So, bottom lane, they're going to pressure in again. Storm Spirit MG has been very content with just running in, trying to kill off the creep wave, and then running back out. He hasn't been going for the TP tricks, but still working fairly well. End up using a fortification. Maybe not super necessary. The key heroes to watch in this one, Disruptor, got to keep our eyes on him, as well as the Rubik. What does he do with the Omni Slash? Are they going to be able to make anything happen with it? They go forward onto the Rubik. He gets silenced. Chase continues. He ends up falling. Nice pick off there at the start of this one. Chalice as well trying to bring down the Juggernaut. Does end up finally finding him and gets the duel victory. Meanwhile, MG trying to take down that Undying. Can he do it in time though? Actually kind of caught in the pain train right now. Chalice dropped down very low. Are they going to be able to find the kill? MG ends up falling. Nicely played there. Bloodthorn revealed and used. The buyback immediately there. And MG, the Savage Roar, it does too much to him. Zhao Fu not able to stop it. It's a dieback for a Storm who's out of here for 97 seconds, and Max have punched their ticket to the Open Qualifier Finals, where they're going to face off against eHome. Eyes on the prize, tier 4s in their minds, and the good game going to get called as they ended up doing it. All right. Well played, well played, well played. Oh my God. I need to check real quickly to see if Senor Cyclops is there or not. Let me check if he's around. Cyclops. All right, well, we're waiting for that. We are going to move on to the score screen, see how everything looked at the end. Oh, and it's a rough one. I feel like that was a really well-played Legion game. I was really impressed by Chalice. The fact that he could start building up dual damage before Blink Dagger and was able to go for that early armlet, it says something about PGC as well, that he shouldn't have been able to find those, but the fact that he did makes a big difference. And he got off a bunch of good duels. There's never a point where I felt like he was misplaying. MG definitely went a little bit ham and probably made a couple of incorrect decisions. But it happens, you know? You also have to make those decisions on occasion and, like, take those opportunities, even if it's really low risk, when you are in that type of situation where you know the lone druid's just going to take over eventually. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. I will let you guys know, indeed, if there is going to be more casts coming out. There's still one more best of 3 that needs to be played, which is going to decide who moves on into the regional qualifiers for China, whether it's going to be Team Max or whether it's going to be eHome Keen. But for now, we're going to run to a quick little break, and I will update you shortly. Thank you guys again for watching. At Lyrical Dota, if you want to follow me on Twitter, at Beyond the Summit, at all the places, hit the follow button. Maximum sellout. We're doing it. We'll see you guys in a bit.